What's going on, everyone? So, Bam Adebayo, right? He's a guy that I've seen many Laker fans throw out. What about Bam? Should the Lakers try to go get Bam, right? Now, there's a lot of just kind of like talk and buzz. There's like a couple social media posts that kind of really gained some traction. So obviously got picked up by, some of these sports syndicates that are like, oh, hey, what about this? But essentially, there's a proposed Bam Adebayo trade that's going around that let's have a fun conversation. Let's talk about it. And essentially, the Heat would receive Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, and Dalton Knecht, plus, picks, draft compensation. Lakers would receive Bam Adebayo. Now, here's the thing. One, I don't think Miami would trade Bam Adebayo. Two, even if they did, I don't think they would trade him to the Lakers. And three, they have Tyler Hero. Do they really want Austin Reeves? Right? So, in my opinion, if this were to become a thing, it would probably require a third team, right? And you'd probably have to maybe get some assets or get a key player that maybe, Miami's more interested in. Now, you could argue that like they could take Austin Reeves and then flip him for more assets, but they'd probably want you to do the work if that was the case. So it is one of those trades where I'm like, it's probably not going to happen. I think it is a bit of a pipe dream. But the question is a couple things. One, should they even try to get Bam Adebayo, right? He's not the big physical interior center that you're looking for, right? He is not this like big, he's 6'9", 6'10". He's got a 7'1" wingspan. He is, you could argue in spots he's more of a power forward than a true traditional center. 6'9", 255. But he is a guy that can play both, play either. He has played both and he has played either. But you saw even with Miami, right? They started playing Khalil Ware at the center spot, playing Bam at the 4, and it really kind of changed things for them. And they were actually much better than when they were playing Bam. So thing is that like, is Bam the answer at the center position? Now, you could argue, hey, he's good, he's talented, he's skilled. You kind of get him and figure it out. Him, LeBron, and Luka, and then when LeBron leaves, whenever that is, right now you have Bam, you could slide him to the 4 and go get a center, or you could have Bam and Luka kind of be your foundation for the next, X amount of years, because, Bam is only 27 years old. He'll be 28 this July. So, you'd have him and his production for the next, 6 to 8 years, somewhere in that range, right? So he is a guy that does make sense. Now you look at his production this past season, 78 games played, 34.3 minutes per game, took an average of 14.3 field goal attempts per game, shot 48.5% from the floor, 3-point range. He shot 35.7%. He actually shot that both the last 2 years, but this year was the most attempts of his career that he took that. And that was 2.8 attempts, right? He averaged 11.4 2-point attempts at 51.7%. He had an EFG of 52.1%. He shot 76.5% from the foul line on 4.2 attempts. He is, the last few years around 5 or 6 attempts, but he also averaged 2 more 3-point attempts. So that kind of just explains why, there's the disparity in his free throw attempts. But he averaged 9.6 rebounds. He is a career 9 rebound a game guy, 4.3 assists, which he is a career 4 assist a game guy, 1.3 steals, a block, and 18.1 points per game. You look at the last 4 years, he averaged 19 to 20 points per game. So he's essentially a 20, 10, and 5 center. Right, guy that can be that defender, can defend in the pick and roll, can switch and defend out on the perimeter, could be that lapdog, could be that bucket getter, could be that scorer, be kind of your third guy alongside Luka and LeBron James, but also fills a need in a hole, right? Talk about a guy that could be in man the middle. To me personally, if you really genuinely do, like let's say Pat Riley's like, sure, I will trade Bam Adebayo, and I will even trade him to LeBron and the Lakers, right? Because it's not so much trading him to the Lakers, it's more so trading him to LeBron, right? Is he really going to want to help LeBron strive for another championship? That's always kind of been the big question. But let's say, move all the fluff, let's say he is willing to do so. And he's like, hey, I'll take the trade, take the package, right? Like, I think it's one of those things you have to do, right? Like Bam is good enough to where if it's on the table, you'd be foolish to say no, right? But it's also like, and again, this is just me personally. Some people might feel completely different. It might be like, no, that's the guy you have to run to the door and go get him, right? I think the assets and personnel would be best spent on other guys, right? Like I'd rather just go get, because again, he's going to be making in 2026, 2027, because he's getting his new extension. I agreed to 3 years, 165 million. So he's going to be making 51 million, 55 million, and 60 million through 2028. I think you can get a lot of the same stuff that you'd be getting from Bam from even like a Nick Claxton, and he's like half the price. Obviously, he's not the shooter or the offensive monster that he is, but you can get Nick Claxton. So literally, you could get Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson for less than what it would cost to get Bam Adebayo. And I would rather have that versatile two-way center who's 26 years old, right? And then you got a legit two-way 3-and-D wing. I just like the assets and what it would cost to go get Bam. I feel like at the center position, you could kind of get away with, you just really need, because Luka's going to generate the offense for that center, right? Like Luka's going to be the guy that's going to, get him the ball and let him go to work, right? Like, so to me, I don't think you necessarily need Bam, who is best like in the spot up, triple threat action, right? Like, I think just going and getting, like I said, a Nick Claxton or something like that, just a guy that could be that lob threat. I'd rather just go and get Mark Williams, right? Because, he's not Bam Adebayo, but he's a 20-and-10 center that, imagine what he'd be alongside, Luka, right? And he has a lot of like the stuff you'd be looking for from Bam, like his ability to just, knock down the 15-footer and, score around the rim and, be a defender. He's not really great in Charlotte, but it is the kind of like Charlotte effect where it's like, like PJ Washington is a great example. Like nobody thought PJ Washington would do anything defensively. Like, people were like, oh, dude, he's a terrible defender. And he was god awful. And then he went to Dallas and he was literally their defensive anchor and was their best defensive player by like a large margin on their championship run, right? Like he was fantastic on the defensive side of the ball, right? So it is one of those things like with a Mark Williams of like, is it something that like, is even worth it, right? Like, I'd rather like the players and assets and stuff that you'd have to give up to go get Bam, right? I would rather use those same assets to go get 2 or 3 guys, right? Like, again, you could argue and justify like, okay, Bam, and then even in a post-LeBron era, you'd have Bam and Luka, right? Like that'd be quite the interesting duo. But like, does Bam make us better? Yes, right? But like, how much better is the question, right? Like, I don't think I think he makes us better. But like, is he so good for us that like we beat Minnesota, right? I don't know. Maybe, right? Like, because at least you would have the size, you would have the rebound, you would have the interior presence, right? If he shows up to the level in which, you were hoping Austin Reeves would have showed up and he didn't, right? Like, you'd have the athleticism, the versatility, like he can make plays, right, for himself. He can create for others. He is very versatile in that regard, but also a lot of the things that makes Bam good, right? Which is, his ability to do the dirty work and do the hustle plays and make plays and do all this stuff and make passes and kind of be the point Bam that you see him be on occasion. You don't really need that because you have LeBron and Luka, right? So like, yeah, it made sense when you had Jimmy Butler and everyone else because it was like, you just kind of put shooters around them, and Bam and Jimmy are the guys that are willing to do the dirty work. Like one of the things that I would love about Bam is he's a guy that embraces the dirty work. Right? Like most stars, most guys making 50 million, they don't want to dive for loose balls. They don't want to take charges. They don't want to, get in the nitty gritty of things. They want to get the role guys to do that. But Bam is one of those guys, like he's willing to do it. And I respect that, right? Like, one of the things that I've always praised when you have Bam and Jimmy is like, they're 2 guys that embrace the dirty work, right? Like very few stars are willing to do that, right? Like Jimmy is one of those guys, like he embraces the dirty work. You need me to get you 30? I'll get you 30. You need me to get you 3, 10, and 10? Get you 3, 10, and 10. You need me to defend the best player and do the dirty work? And like, fine, whatever you need, I gotcha, right? And Bam's in a lot of ways that guy, right? Where it's like, hey, want me to go grab 15 rebounds and block shots and make plays and, kind of be the deterrent in the post and all that? Sure, I gotcha, right? Need me to go drop 25? Sure, I gotcha, right? Like, and you could argue that alongside Luka, he'd make him a lot better. Like, is that really what we need at the center position, right? And in my opinion, I think once LeBron retires and leaves, I think you're probably best moving Bam to the 4, which then now at that point you need another center, right? Like, so where I think you could argue like you're better off just like running LeBron, running Luka until this runs out, get the pieces, try to get as much depth as possible, get just better surrounding guys rather than another $50 million guy that you'd have to trade for. And then just like, when LeBron leaves and you need another star, just trust you have Luka and you're the Lakers and one will come. It's kind of my thoughts. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you feel? What are your thoughts? You agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. How do you feel either way? Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.